again. This is the Goods Fam on Twitch. I'm Philly Good, and we're on the MPCX, continuing on where we left off last time. We were on chapter 22, Advanced Key Group Building. So if you can, follow, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And yeah, tell your friends if they have an MPC, they can check it out and follow along. I'm just going through the MPCX Bible and just going step by step, so you can do the same if you have all of the tutorial files included. Let's see if they have a chapter 22 folder here, advanced key group editing. Okay. Alright, so we'll continue from where we left off. I'm just going to take a sip of water and we'll get going. Naming your sounds. Firstly, your sounds should be named logically. There's no set rules to how you name your samples, but the point is you need to use a system that helps you identify the instrument or sound patch that the sample was recorded from, as well as its musical pitch. So for example, if you recorded a C1 note from a piano, this could be called piano-C1. Or you could go further and specify the type of piano, such as grand piano or Steinway Model D. If you were recording a patch from a synth, you could include both the synth model name itself and the specific patch name. For example, massive-wobbly bass E2. I also like to include MIDI note number in the file name, as it not only helps identify the MIDI note, it ensures the samples run in musical order when they appear in the various sample assigned screens. Let's keep things as simple as possible and use the piano-36 C1 format. Configuring the root note. Okay, configuring the root note. Logical naming of a sample. Here, I'm just going to open the chat. If you can, jump in the chat today. I'm trying to get 5 people in the chat all at once. That's my goal. If that happens, it'll make me really happy. I should have some sort of thing that happens if the goal succeeds. Any suggestions? I'll just drop something in the chat right here, because I believe it counts towards people in the chat. So if I'm one of them, hopefully that'll count, and I just need 4 more. Alright. So configuring the root note. Logical naming of a sample is there purely for your own benefit, so you can visually identify the source and pitch of a sample. The MPC, on the other hand, won't recognize the pitch of the sample from its file name. As such, we're going to have to tell the MPC the musical pitch or key of each sample. There's 2 ways we can do this. One way is within the key group program itself, but the more traditional way is to embed the root note data inside each multi-sample. So we're going to go to the browse folder. We're going to single tap the folder Piano Sounds and hold down Shift and select Load All. Alright, So this will load a collection of piano multi-samples that they previously recorded. So now we're going to go to sample edit, trim. The root note parameter is already set to C1 for the C1 piano sample. If a sample has never had a root note set, you'll find the root note defaults to C3 as they've covered previously in the book. Oh, hi, N1, N3K9. Thank you very much for showing up. Alright, so the MPC does actually detect the key of a sample, but for unknown reasons doesn't automatically set the root note. You can check the key of a sample by hitting the white arrow on the right of the trim screen to enter the sample detection screen. So let's see. Right there. And then you can see the root note is right there, and the key, and you can detect the key right from here. Okay, so you can tap detect key to force the MPC to try to detect the key again. Okay. You can also set the root note during the initial recording process, assuming you use the sampler screen for recording. After recording your sample, you'll have an opportunity to set the root note in the keep or discard screen, discard sample screen. So let's see, if we go into the sampler and we just recorded something, the keep or discard sample screen. Okay, got the root note down here, so you can set it from there. Interesting. Setting up the key groups. So now go to main and hit the key group track type. I believe it's this one, right? Is that key groups there? Yeah, key group program. All right. And make sure you have a blank key group program assigned. So yeah, program 2, I don't know if it has a blank key group. Let's add a new one. Number 3. Alright, yeah, it was probably blank. I'm just thrown off because it's all lit up. So we're going to rename it to piano program. Okay, and now we're going to go to program edit, global. We already know that a default key group program contains one single key group which spans all 128 pads in the MPC. The number of key groups in a program is shown at the top of the screen. Okay, number of kg. As you can see, there's only one key group in this program. As we have imported 16 multi-samples, we need our key group program to have a total of 16 key groups. So single tap on number of kg and change this to 16. Now go to program edit, samples. At the top of the page, make sure to turn key group or the key grid and tap on layer 1 and assign piano 36C1. There it is. Now tap on key group at the top of the screen and select key group number 2. Assign the next sample along, piano 40E1. Select key group 3 and assign piano 43G1. and so on for all 16 key groups. Okay. Oh. So wait. 64, 67, 72, 76, 79, 84, 88, 91, and 96. All right. So we went through all the 16 key groups. After assigning all the samples, scroll through all key groups again to check if you made any mistakes. Okay. Let's go back. Pretty sure that's good. Whoop. Now we're going to go to global and select key group 1. My speaker shut off. I haven't been doing anything. Alright. Currently the note range for this and every other key group is the default C-2 to G8. So right here you can see those. We're going to have to change this for every key group, but rather than work out the specific note ranges required for each group, I'm first going to just set a single note range that matches the sample currently assigned to this key group in C1. Alright, so here's a little trick that will make the workflow much quicker. First, set the key group to all by tapping the key group and turning the data wheel anti-clockwise. This is going to set the note range for all 16 key groups simultaneously. Set the note range as low key C1, and high key C1. What? Why did that change? Alright, so they're both set to C1. Now tap on key group and select key group 2. Set key group 2 to the next note, which was an E1. Oh, alright. Oops. Did I pass by the E1 already? Yeah. And so to do this, you simply tap in low key and set this to E1. The high key will automatically match it. Oh, I didn't see that happening for me. Alright. Now select key group 3 and set this to G1. using the same method. Oops. How do I set that? So you can buy them already made at MPC-samples.com. It's the MPC expansions. So to set these all, it's going to take a little bit of work here. I don't understand. So the next note after C is the E. I don't really understand how it jumps from C to E to G. Okay. I'll just go with it though. So I was at A1. Okay, there's B1. Gotcha. Alright. Here, I'll keep going through. I was a little confused there. B1, C1. Like, wouldn't it just be like that? Like, D1. I might be doing this wrong, but we'll find out soon enough when we hear it, I guess. Alright, so we got them all set. So now we're going to tap on the keyboard icon at the top of the screen. So the currently selected key group is in darker red. So that's where I placed it, I guess. So that's why they didn't want it like that. They wanted it jumping from note to note on the keyboard, as the keyboard would have been. I have all my notes piled all together, so it's not exactly what they wanted, but I do understand now as we go through what they were looking for. Next time we come around through this chapter, I'll make sure to do it correctly, hopefully. So the pink keys represent notes that have been assigned a sample. We just need to fill in the blanks by extending the note range of each key group. With key group 1 selected, tap on low key and turn the data wheel anti-clockwise to extend this down to A0, the lowest note on the piano. Now tap on high key and extend this up 3 notes to E1 there, doing that. A0 and E flat 1, 2, it's set to that? Okay. Maybe because I did it for all. It changed it for all. Okay. I messed it up, but let's continue and see what we do here. So key group 2, we're going to extend the high key to cover the unassigned keys up to F sharp 1. So it's going to be E1 to F sharp 1 on key group 2. Key group 3, we're going to extend the high key to cover all the missing notes up to B1. So it'll be F1 up to B1. We're going to have to repeat that for all 16 key groups, but the thing is, I don't think I actually set it up correctly in the first place, but we'll go ahead and try and follow along anyway. So oh, I see, I'm doing this wrong as well. I can see what's going on here. Okay. I think I'm catching on here. Alright, so got the 16 key groups, and it should be ending, finish with key group 16 on G6. So obviously I didn't do it right because I'm ending on an E8, but let's see what happens anyway with what happened there, with what I just set up. Alright. Hi, Anne. Thank you for tuning in. Alright, we got 3 people in the chat today, so if we can get 2 more, we can reach my goal for today. Thank you very much, Anne. Alright. So, they really like this visual way of assigning key groups. Believe it or not, you can actually get this set up pretty quickly with some practice. Okay. Right. So time to try this out. First, hold down Shift and press 16 levels to open pad perform. Shift 16 levels, pad perform, and make sure it is turned off. Pad perform off. How do we turn it off? I don't understand. How do you turn it off? Do you know N1, N3K9? Do you know how to turn that off? I don't know how to turn pad perform off. I don't really understand what they mean. Make sure it is turned off. Is there like an off button that I'm missing here? I'm not sure. Shift 16 levels to open pad perform and make sure it is turned off. I have no idea what that means. Now select bank C and begin hitting some pads. Okay, I hope this works. I could turn it off or anything. I got the speakers off already because I haven't been playing anything. Alright, first time we hear something all day here. If it even does anything. The lowest pad in this instrument is actually a pad C02, which is the A0 note. Okay. The highest note in the instrument is found on pad G08. We're not quite there yet. Time for some envelope action. So, let's see. Applying ADSR. Currently, those piano sounds end very abruptly and do not sound very natural. So head over to envelopes. So your envelope settings are applied to all key groups simultaneously. Set yourself a nice release value. 64 works well, or did they mean minus 64? I think it's a value of minus 64. Oh no, 64. Okay. You might have heard that the program is clipping, so head over to the channel mixer. Alright, channel mixer. Or the program channel strip in main, and it's a little eyeball. And you can reduce the volume of the program to around minus 4 decibels. So which one did I set it up on? It was program 1, wasn't it? Or is it the piano program right here? Anyway, we'll do it for both. Minus 4 decibels. Minus 4. I'll do it that one too. Interesting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load up the piano program.xpm from the instruments subfolder. What is it? Piano program.xpm. Load that up. Ooh. All right. Okay. So they made a piano program. Right on. Alternative note range configuration. In the previous example, I've tuned most of the samples upwards to fill the gaps in the note scale. This is the same technique that Akai used for both up and down. So, I don't know if you can see on the screen up there, but in the image above, they color-coded the note range used for each sample. So if you take a look at the G sample, the blue notes, rather than just being tuned all the way up to a B, it is just tuned up to an A plus 2 semitones and tuned down one semitone to cover the G flat. The C sample, green tones, or the green notes, is tuned down to cover the missing B flat and B, and tuned up 2 semitones to cover D flat and D. The E sample, red notes, is tuned up and down only by 1 semitone to cover the E flat and F notes. So in this note range, no sample is alright. So dealing with root notes. At the beginning of this chapter, we talked about setting the root notes for all our multi-samples via the root note parameter and sample edit. By doing this, we told our MPC exactly which musical pitch each sample represented, which in turn meant our key group program could automatically tune and assign the correct sample pitches to each pad in our instrument. We can, however, forego embedding the root note data in the actual sample and instead embed this information inside the program itself. So we're going to go to Program Edit, Samples 3 screen, and select the key group 5. Alright, so the last column in the screen is the root note column. By default, this is set to SMP, which stands for sample. This means we're telling the MPC to read the root note data directly from the sample. However, if our sample has no root data, the MPC just assumes the sample is C3. This is not going to be very helpful and will cause the notes in the instrument to be incorrectly assigned to the wrong keys. So rather than set a root note within the sample itself, we can skip that and instead set the root note on the sample layer. Choose whichever method you prefer. Root notes embedded in a sample are of course portable, and the root note data should also be available in other samplers. Tuning and transposing your key group program. In the global screen, you're able to change the global tuning of your program. If you wish to make some small tweaks to the tuning of your key groups, typically because all your notes are slightly off from concert pitch, use the semi and fine parameters. However, if only some individual notes are slightly out of tune, use the tune setting for the affected samples in the sample edit. So you would use the semi or fine parameters if they're slightly out of tune. But if not, you can go into the sample edit screen and use the tune parameter right here. So if only some of the individual notes are slightly out of tune, you would use the tune for those affected samples. But otherwise, use the semi and fine parameters right there. Okay. So you can transpose your entire key group program using the transpose parameter. Transpose. Oh, I see it there. Transpose. So this can be helpful if you've previously recorded a performance to your sequencer in the key of C, but later find you need it to actually be in the key of D. Wow. Rather than editing your recorded MIDI notes in your sequencer, simply transpose your entire key group program up 2 semitones, a transpose setting of 2. Boop, boop. Just like that. So transpose can also be used to change the position of the lowest usable note in a key group program. For example, as we've already seen, bank A often contains notes far too low to use with acoustic instruments. So you could transpose your entire key group program to entire octaves, transpose 24, it would still be a C note on pad A01, but rather than a C minus 2, it would be a C0, which generally is much more useful. It's a much more useful note to start an acoustic program with, right? Because you're right on the first. Yeah, you use pad A typically right away, so if it's set there, boom, you can start playing right away. You don't have to worry about having those way super low notes that you're not going to use anyway. But if you go to the a 2, okay, to use mono samples instead of stereo, which is what we've been using throughout these key group tutorials. However, many instruments do sound much better in stereo. Other than sampling the original instrument in stereo, an emulation of stereo can be achieved on a mono program by applying a stereo effect across the program. For example, a reverb or a delay. Or we can utilize panning across 2 layers in each key group, with one layer panned hard left and the other hard right. Rather than pan the same sample left and right, we achieved a fantastic emulation of stereo by using root notes. So if you go to load up the program sudo stereopiano.xpm, alright, you'll find that in the instruments subfolder. And then go to Program Edit, Samples 2, and select any key group. Oh, I thought they meant there was one called any, but he's just saying choose any one you want. So I'll go to 16 here. Here, oh, so here you can see that for each key group, they have assigned 2 samples. I don't see that there. go down in the other programs. Pseudo stereo piano, then program edit. Okay, now he's got 2 samples loaded up for each one. On layer 1 is the proper sample for this key range, while layer 2 features the nearest neighbor, which will also automatically tune itself to the correct pitch thanks to the root note parameter. So both layers are set to cover the entire velocity range of 0 to 127. Layer play for all the key groups in this program are set to the default velocity in the global screen. Okay, I see it there. Layer play set to velocity there. So the key stereo setting is found under the pan column. Pan. The pan column, okay. Where each layer is hard panned to opposing sides. Right, I see that. So play the program to hear the stereo effect in action. Oops. Okay. The advantage of this method is that the left and right channels sound slightly different as they are generated from different samples. They're the same pitch, just slightly different timbres. And this is what gives the pseudo stereo effect its unique depth. You can also, or additionally, add stereo width using effects. Use a stereo reverb The air reverbs are stereo. A stereo delay, or you can experiment with the modulation air stereo width plugin. But I don't think I can add any plugins right there for this. Oh. Modulation, air stereo width. Wow, okay. Emulating an electric piano. Load up electric piano.xpm from the instrument subfolder. Here they've transformed their pseudo stereo acoustic piano into some mellow electric keys. Let's see what they did. So head over to envelope filter. Here they have a filter type of a Model 2. I wonder if I'm in the right thing here though. Yeah, it's electric piano we want to be on actually. So we'll go there and then we'll go to envelope filter, and here they have a filter type of Model 2, which is an analog modeling filter. Oh yeah, I see it here, Model 2. Okay. So the cutoff of 52 and a reso of 70 to give it a deep, rich tone and help it lose its acoustic nature. So the res 70, the cutoff is 52. Interesting. Okay. Avoid clipping. If you ever hear digital clipping when playing a key group, don't just head for the program level control. It's likely that the key groups themselves need some level reduction. In the global screen with KG Select, key group select set to all. Change the volume for all key groups to approximately minus 16 decibels. It's already there though. Alright. Now head over to LFO. Here they added some sine wave modulation of the amp volume and pan to give it a tremolo effect. The speed of the tremolo is set by the waveform rate. We've previously seen the program edit effects screen, which we used in a drum program to add insert effects to a particular pad. In a key group program, this screen works in a similar way, except it allows us to apply effects to a particular key group. Now in this example, I wanted to add effects to all key groups equally, in which case we should just apply the effects across the entire program. So instead, just go to Main, we'll press the little eyeball at the top left of the screen, and this reveals the program channel strip. Mine's already open. So here you can see that they added 4 insert effects across the program. The phaser adds some subtle phased movement to the notes. Tube drive has been configured with some very small amounts of drive. Just the maximizer has helped raise the level of the program and also stops it clipping when many notes are played together. I just used the clip catcher preset for this. Finally, just a little bit of delay to add some ambience. You can tap on the inserts box to investigate the settings further if you wish. See if you want to take a look at what they got here. Alright, so we'll stop there for today. And we'll continue tomorrow with the same chapter, Advanced Key Group Building, and we'll start with pad to key group conversion. But for now, I'll just I'll hit save. I guess I don't need to, or should I? Let's do it. We'll save this as capital M. And I'll hit do it. And we'll save it in there. The Goods fam on Twitch, this is Philly Good. And if you can, hit the notification bell to let you know that I'm here 10 to 11 a.m. every day. And also, yeah, what was I going to say? I don't know. Have a great day. Oh yeah, I'll send you through on a raid. And you can check out another channel here. Let's see who's available for a raid. Okay, the Demon Nini, no, her stream looks like it's just ending. The other one is Reggae E1000, Sam Tweaks, or Selecta 720. We'll send you over to Tweaky Blinders, Love Thursday with Sam Tweaks. Thank you all for showing up. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.